In the United States, femicide, the gender-based killing of women, is often thought to be an issue affecting low-income countries. This could not be further from the truth. Of all femicide cases in high-income countries, 70% occur in the United States. To put that into perspective on a global scale, the U.S. ranks 34th for intentional female homicides at a rate of 2.6 killings per 100,000 women. This article is from the Sanctuary for Families. It's called The Silent Epidemic of Femicide in the United States. It was published in March 2023. Moreover, in the U.S., almost 3 women are killed by an intimate partner every day, just as is the case with the woman they're referring to earlier in the article. Women in the U.S. are predominantly killed by men they know, and largely by current or former intimate partners. Of all intimate partner female homicides in 2018, 92% of victims were killed by a man they knew, and 63% were killed by current husbands, boyfriends, or ex-husbands. Again, I'm reading this directly from this article. These are not my words. These staggering statistics demonstrate the misogyny behind these violent deaths. In the United States, like so many other countries across the world, women are being murdered because they are women. And while it is true that some men are murdered by their female partners, intimate partner violence accounts for only 5% of male homicides, compared to over 60% for women. Too often, these occur in the context of women acting in self-defense against their abusive male partners and will still be prosecuted and sent to jail. Trans women and women of color face a disproportionate risk. When considering femicide and its implications, we must acknowledge the barriers and disparities affecting marginalized women and how these increase the risk of violence. Though femicide is a pervasive problem for all women, the reality for women of color is even bleaker. Men are murdering Black women and girls at a rate almost 3 times higher than white women. Men are murdering Black women and girls at a rate almost 3 times higher than white women. For Indigenous women and girls, the homicide rate is 6 times higher than it is for their white counterparts, and current or former partners are responsible for 94% of these homicides. Despite being murdered at higher rates, Black and brown murdered and missing women are not receiving the same media attention and resources as white women, which we just saw when that little girl went missing upstate. Everybody cares, the media cares. What about all the missing Black, brown, and Indigenous young girls? Where are they on the evening news? The transgender community is also profoundly affected by femicide, especially trans women of color. 2021 was the deadliest year globally for murders of trans people, and 96% of those victims were trans women or trans feminine people. Of the known cases of anti-trans murders from 2013 to 2018, approximately 1 in 6 are suspected of having been committed by an intimate partner. With trans people experiencing police violence at a 3.7 times higher rate than cisgender survivors, trans women may be hesitant to come forward and report abuse due to institutionalized transphobia within law enforcement and the criminal justice system. They may also be wrongfully denied treatment or service at domestic violence shelters because of their gender identity. According to the 2015 U.S. Transgender Survey, 22% of trans people were verbally harassed, physically attacked, or denied equal treatment or service at a domestic violence shelter or rape crisis center. The number of women killed in the U.S. is steadily rising. 2,997 women were murdered in 2019 compared to 1,691 women in 2014. Firearms significantly contribute to the fatality of crimes related to intimate partner violence. Abusers with guns are 5 times more likely to kill their victims. Every month, an average of 70 women in the U.S. are shot and killed by an intimate partner. While intimate partner violence is a global issue, the intersection between gun violence and intimate partner violence is uniquely American. In 2015, 92% of all women killed with guns in high-income countries were from the United States. 92% of all women killed with firearms were from the United States in 2015. I would say this is almost the most important paragraph in this article. Recognizing these early warning signs is crucial in preventing femicide. Nonetheless, a 2022 investigation shows that law enforcement agencies continuously ignore and dismiss red flags in domestic abuse cases due to insufficient training on identifying red flags, underusing lethality assessments, and lack of follow-through. I've experienced that myself when I've had to make police reports about ex-boyfriends. I was told I spoke with a forked tongue. And this was a person who was following me to school and driving up and down my block multiple times a day in multiple cars when I lived with my mother, and transcribing love letters that I had written him over and over and over again and leaving shit on the porch. That was to the police officers that I made a report to. That was me just, being in a lover's quarrel. As Americans, if we don't think that trying to prevent women from getting abortions and trapping them in homes with children, because I was just reading the Bureau of Labor Statistics stats from 2022 about the way having children, especially young children, prevents women from entering the workforce or continuing to have jobs, keep their jobs because of the, demand of childcare. Also, childcare is expensive. So between women not being able to get rid of pregnancies, right? Terminate pregnancies that they don't want, and guns just being so prevalent in this society, if you think that that is not all part of white supremacy and patriarchy going hand in hand and knowing exactly how to limit groups of people in really insidious ways, when they all come together, it paints a picture of blatant oppression. And the United States is called out over and over again in this. We are most guilty of this. I just made a whole video about even the wage gap in the United States. We rank 43rd in the world, wage gap wise. We are not in a good place. We are not the greatest country in the world, and we haven't been. If we ever were, we never were. I'll link this article in a comment.